we're going to the final speaker, Professor Takehiko Uemura from Yokohama City University, a renowned researcher in global policies, sustainability, and spirituality. He has worked with organizations like the United Nations and has been a visiting scholar at major institutions worldwide. Today, he will present Integration of Science and Non-Science for the World in Peace and Happiness. He will discuss how quantum mechanics, collective consciousness, and spirituality intersect with prenatal wellness, shaping the future of humanity. Professor Uemura, welcome, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much for having me today, Yuko.
Thank you.
And also, it's actually my great pleasure to be here and to share some of my research with you. And let me share a PowerPoint slide. I'd like to start with this sentence. All children, before being born, looked at our planet from above. Before being born. This is a blue, beautiful planet, but if you look at in details, there are so many things, sufferings, conflicts, war, starvation, poverty, environmental degradations, especially climate crisis. The scientific community has a consensus that we should not exceed 1.5 degrees Celsius, as you may know, because there will be more flood, drought, and as a result, food production will be reduced down to 1/5 of the current productions, and much more. However, the fact is, IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the expert group, warns 1.5 degrees Celsius will be exceeded around 2030. It is coming, right? So we are facing existential risk of humanity. Question here is, why are children willing to be born on such a bleak planet? My answer is, because most of them, if not all, they are willing to be born here to save this planet, making it a happy one. But how? This is my big topic today. One of the keys to this is the integration of science and non-science, or I may call it beyond science approach, by quantum mechanics or Jungian psychology or brain science. Second key is to understanding interaction between structure and actors. There are many actors on Earth, including us, and we are hoping to the world to be happy or to be peaceful, etc. We are acting a lot, thinking about mother's health, children's health. However, there is a structure that prevents you from being so. However, that structure is produced by each one of us. So there is an interaction between structure and actors. With that in mind, this is the most important slide today for me. This is a total picture how to realize a world in peace and happiness. On your left-hand side, it is more scientific approach and structure. On your right-hand side, it is more beyond scientific approach, focusing on actors. If you look at structure, there are structures that prevent us being happy, and there is a solution in this light blue box. On the other hand, there are many points beyond scientific approach to transform collective consciousness, because collective consciousness is realized. So if collective consciousness is full of sadness, agony, suffering, reality is become like that. So it's very important to change, to transform this collective consciousness. That means all people have to be happy if we like to make this world in peace and happiness. Let me break down and explain a little bit more in details. Start with structure, identifying structure that hampers the world to be in peace and happiness. I would say there are two structures. One is economic structure, in other words, capitalism. The other one is international political structure, sovereign state system. Plus, there are certainly the people who rule the world, global capitalist class, I may call, academicians call it. Capitalism, under this system, money is everything. People kill people, other people for money. People cause war, conflicts for money. People degrade the environment for money. Under this capitalist system, it is almost impossible to realize the world in peace and happiness. Sovereign state system. Under this system, national interest is always the first, and global public interest is the second. So it is impossible to address global challenges under this system. So it is necessary to change that system. And also, I have to add, who control the world? Academically speaking, they are called transnational capitalist class. They are the people who make at least $100 billion per year by money game without working. There are 130,000 people in the world. That makes 13 trillion US dollar is made by them a year. And they control the world multinational corporations, big corporations, by holding stocks with each other and also using that huge amount of money to control the top elite of each government and international organizations. This is how they control the world. But how can we address these difficult structure and people? What are the solutions? Scientific solution is interaction of three components is the key. I would say establishment of global tax, global basic income, and world federal government. Beyond scientific approach, it is important to discover for one of us their mission to be born by spirituality, learning from planets with high level of civilization, and transforming collective consciousness. And how can we integrate them? Actually, there are three: quantum mechanics and Jungian psychology and brain science, actually. But due to time limitations, let me just focus on quantum mechanics and Jungian psychology. What is quantum mechanics? This is a study of the nature of the smallest things that makes up any matter. And those smallest things have a always quantum state. In other words, coexistence of particle nature and wave nature. So it's certainly there, but you cannot see it when you try to look at it. It's certainly there, but if you try to look at it, it changed to wave or to be back to particle. Here, wave or frequency is an important element to understand. If you are interested in this kind of subject, I would like you to recommend to check double slit experiment or Schrödinger's cat. Keys to quantum mechanics. The smallest things that makes up matter have quantum state. That's one thing. And everything is composed of the same thing. All are connected. And consciousness is also composed by the same matter. For example, here's a cup. What's the difference between this cup and me? Difference is just frequency. Frequency has its unique frequency, and I have own frequency. This frequency makes a difference. And also, the idea or consciousness or empathy, etc., they are all frequency. Reality is realized by collective consciousness, and then raising frequency is crucial. And for that, I will recommend you to check this YouTube. What about the Jungian psychology? It is established by Carl Gustav Jung, and he argued that consciousness that lies even deeper than subconsciousness. There is a consciousness. He called it the collective consciousness, unconsciousness, even deeper than subconsciousness. And it is common to all human and animals too. Therefore, transformation of the collective unconsciousness is a key to make a difference. That's some keys learning from Jungian psychology. And to understand that world of collective unconsciousness, there is an interesting YouTube by Gilbert Taylor. She is a brain scientist and experienced brain disorder by herself and understanding the world of right brain. Everything is connected, and it's very important and interesting YouTube. So if you are interested in that, I recommend you to check it. And another element is seeing things from the universe. I'm not talking about spirituality here. Can you count the number of stars in the universe? How many stars are there in the universe? It's really countless. But actually, there are some scientists who calculate how many planets with high level of civilization in the universe. According to Frank Drake, he argues there are 20,000 planets per galaxy. Then question is, how many galaxies are there in the universe? That's 2 trillion galaxies in this universe. That makes 40,000 trillion planets with high level of civilizations. So it is natural to think there are aliens even on this planet too, because it's not very difficult for them to come to this planet because they are energy beings. If they are a high level of frequency, it is possible to come here and to interact us. Even I have one alien in my home. But alien is not only this kind of shape. As I said, they are energy being, so it's easy for them to change their shape. There is a one book I recommend you very much. It's written by Enrique Barrios, Ami de las Estrellas. In English, I think Omi of the Stars. I think this, I always recommend all students to read this book, in fact. All right, so beyond scientific solutions or integration of scientific solutions, the key word is remembering your missions or remembering your children's mission. In order to achieve this, it is very important to explore the truth and try to think about how to be helpful for society or how to make a difference by knowing the explored truth. However, each person has different missions with different strengths and weaknesses. So what is further important is spark and excited. The emotion of spark and excited, that's the key for each of us to find the mission to be born. So these three circles, there is one in the center, it's a mission to be born. And to facilitate this findings, mission to be born, it's very important to break the wall of common sense and also seeing things from the universe, as I said earlier, and integrate science and beyond science, because science, understand just 5% of everything. So we have to look at 95% of the things too. Every child knows all of the things that I explained. Therefore, I would like to say, don't disturb your children to find their missions and even facilitate them to remember them. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you so much, Professor Uemura. That was great. Is there any question for Professor Uemura? I know that I've seen a lot of where's the YouTube links and what is a book, and I know that some of us members actually responded back to that. So is there any questions or
There's
okay.
one from Olga. Remember and remind. Thank you. It's very important.
Yes.
Remind too. Sure.
How about this one? Do you see a change in consciousness to have this shift?
Sorry, I just missed it. Would you say that again?
Okay. Do you see a change in consciousness to have this shift that you're talking about?
Do I see the change in the consciousness?
Change, yeah. Yes, because you
Well,
talk.
actually, we are still minority. Especially I working for the university. This is the center of science, a religion called science. So once I try to go beyond the science, I'm always being criticized, attacked, and hard to live here. However, the purpose of academy is to find the truth.
Right.
In order to find the truth, we cannot avoid looking at the things beyond science. So that's why I'm okay being criticized by other colleagues.
Yes, well, there's a comment saying very empowering talk. Thank you. Made me think a lot. So I think we're really heading to some direction that is going to be a big change, I'm hoping. Thank you so much, Professor Uemura, for this
Well, thank you
talk.
very much.